Let's see, what can I secure here? Yeah! First place still. Crazy. So allow me to be a kid on the playground for a minute and just say that Crash Team Racing is a game that I consider superior to the more popular Mario Kart. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about why that is. And this is one of my favorite games because I played this back in high school when other people were playing Mario Kart. And this game definitely took a lot of inspiration from Mario Kart. Like, you'll see it just everywhere. So it's got a lot of the same game mechanics, but I just feel like it has a lot of refinement on those mechanics. But more than that, I see this game as simply the more skill-based version of it. It's still easy to pick up. It's got a lot of the stuff that you want in terms of, it's got a lot of just great character design. It's got a cartoony feel that everybody can appreciate. I mean, Crash was always just a quality series that it deserved a lot more than it got. It was really trying hard to be the poster child of PlayStation, and I think it deserved it, but it just wasn't the right fit for the audience, because most of the audience really preferred, well, it was just a better fit in Nintendo in general. If Mario Kart had been on Nintendo, I think it would have been probably twice as big. So I'm just going to play a race here so you can see how it's similar, and I'll be able to easily talk about how it's dissimilar. The first thing you're seeing here is me drifting. In fact, here, let me not drift for a moment so you can see the difference. So this is just going through a regular turn, but then drifting. And it's a really good drift. I'll talk about that. Now I've got an item, just like in Mario Kart, where you have things to help you. In this case, what I just placed, I got another one, is it's very similar to a banana peel in a way. But there's some good differences. I talked about how it's kind of more spill-based. The thing I just dropped was a TNT crate, and what I got hit by was basically similar to a red shell, which I have another one in my inventory. The TNT crate, though, is different than a banana peel because if you hit it, you have a chance to avoid its effect by, you just hop a little, and it doesn't work if you're like going through a lot of jumps and stuff because you can't hop while you're in the air. But yeah, the fact that you have an additional skill to do something, to allow the players to respawn, is just great game design, you know? What I've got here is actually the essential equivalent of a blue shell. However, it is a little bit better than a blue shell, which is not particularly, it's not strictly better game design to have more powerful items, but what this does is it'll just seek out, it'll hit everybody in front of you. So, regardless. Oh, I got another one? Alright, here, look, you see, it hits absolutely everybody. Sick. And I guess it just feels a lot better. I mean, that's a little bit more of just personal preference, but like when I know that it's going to slow down everybody in front of me. Now, this game also has a lot of items that are just strictly better than other items. They're like similar, but they're better. If you notice the little fruits up at the top, I have 4 right now. If I get that up to 10, it will do 2 things. One, it's already similar to coins, so which is that duality kind of concept that I'm referring to. And second of all, it allows it so that all of my items can upgrade. So there's like the red crates where you can do something about it when you hit it, but if you have the 10 Wumpa fruits, oh, I actually got it. Crap. Come on, get it off, get it off. Can I get it off? Nope. See, I went through a jump, so I couldn't... I had too much airtime, so I couldn't get it off. But yeah, the upgraded version of that is... and this is like a star. It's really just that simple. But the green version of the is like a nitro crate, and you can't do anything. You hit it, and you're just... Yeah, you blow up. And I don't know, I really like the cleverness of that. Like, these items have different tiers, and most of them are just designed to give you additional skill opportunities. Alright, gonna win this race. Second place only, but whatever. So, yeah, you'll see all these comparisons throughout. You have items that are like shells, you have items that are like banana peels, you've got items that are like blue shells, you've got items that are like mushrooms, but most of them just have more depth. Now, one of my favorite reasons that this is, well, not the reason, but one thing that I like about this game that it doesn't have, Mario Kart at some point started implementing a game mechanic that honestly is enough to make me just not want to play it sometimes, and that is the ink mechanic. The item, like somebody draws a squid with ink and it obscures the player's vision. There is nothing like that in this game. They never even considered it. So that, I just don't understand it. Why would anybody want that? Like, I get that it's funny maybe for the person who... Oh, this is a shield. Yeah, I guess it's funny enough for the people who don't get hit, but a game mechanic is supposed to be fun for the whole game, not just for one person. And that's kind of a contentious point in game design. You know, you have to ask yourself, is this actually fun for everyone? Because you can't have everybody win a game. There has to be things that advantage people, but the squid ink is just absolutely terrible as a game mechanic because it doesn't give you really anything back. It doesn't... A lot of the times it just doesn't do anything at all, and other times the only thing it does is frustrate you. So just the fact that that's not here, it's like, oh, thank goodness. Alright, so, I can't seem to get 10 Wumpa Fruits here, but otherwise you would see, this is a shield item. But it only lasts for, I don't know, like 10 seconds or so. But if you get 10 Wumpa Fruit, it'll turn into one that doesn't have an expiration. There we go. Alright, now I can just put it on. And now I guess that's another thing I didn't really like about Mario Kart. When you had an item that you wanted to protect yourself with, you could hold down a button to protect yourself with it. And I liked the concept of that, but I hated holding down a button for possibly the entire length of the track. Like, holy hell, that got old fast. So, this gives us other options. Sometimes even just the removal of that option is better than the option itself. And I get that obviously you're not supposed to hold it for the whole track, but I mean, think about it. What really happens? You end up holding it until you would get hit and you protected yourself, then you have to pick up another one, you have to do it again. You're spending the whole time just holding that button, protecting yourself. The only time you're not is when you're not able to protect yourself. When you're getting hit too much, or when you're not in first place. Or even, like, maybe second. Now, as similar as this is to Mario Kart, this does not feel like Mario Kart. And it's easy to pick up, but in Mario Kart, the normal mode was sort of the what in this game, that's just easy mode. So Mario Kart can be easier than this, and this game really is not too hard to pick up. Like the fact that, like, if you need it to be on easy, you're going to have to switch to easy mode. That's not a problem, if you ask me. But if you're used to Mario Kart, this game is just going to feel wrong, because Mario Kart set the expectation to everybody what a kart game feels like. And to simply have a different feel is always going to be unfair, and it's just going to feel wrong. It's going to say like, oh, I drifted and I didn't, it didn't drift the way that I thought it would, or, I took, like, this jump and I thought I would go this far and I went a different farness. Like, I'm sorry, there's, as much as those statements are legitimate and you can't really change the way that they feel, that's nothing more or less than just being used to a game. And if you want to give this game a try, you just have to get used to the feel. You have to get used to how much you turn when you turn, how much you drift when you drift, how much you jump when you jump. You gotta be a little patient with that. Once you get the feel of it, it does feel good. Once you feel in control, oh, get that off my head. Get it off! There we go. Got it off. So yeah, it can be done. This is, just because the game is a little bit different, it is not a bad thing. Just spend some time with it, and they have like all kinds of different modes to help you get various experiences with the game mechanic, to hold you to standards, to practice certain techniques. The techniques in play here, they're primarily two things. They're primarily the drifting, which I'm doing kind of constantly, and also getting boosts from jumps. So when you drift, you have the opportunity to get a boost, but as opposed to Mario Kart, when you drift, you get a boost after drifting enough. But it doesn't work like that here. Here you get a boost. You see when the black smoke comes out of my exhaust, that is when you have to activate the boost. If you don't hit the button at the right time when that happens, then you don't get any boost. You may get through the turn faster. That's something that also was that was really weird to me in Mario Kart. In Mario Kart, like, if you drift, a lot of the times you're not even like getting anything if you're not getting the boost. It didn't help you go through any faster. For a lot of things, it actually felt slower. And that also depends on your character, but this is like a red shell. And it can actually miss. This, unlike the red shell, does not it doesn't follow the track. It just goes straight beeline. And if there's something in the way, too bad. That's your fault for throwing it at a bad time. But the drifting is a huge deal in this game. That it's one of the biggest things, skill-wise and speed-wise. So the other thing is, and this is similar to Mario Kart, but it's just more pronounced here. In Mario Kart, when you jump, going across some kind of gap, you get a little bit of a boost. But here, the amount of boost you get is based entirely on how much air time that you had. So if you get a lot of air time, you get a lot of boost. Easy peasy simple. Oh, almost hit that green one. The red one is a little bit different than that green beaker, which is a play on how there's like scientists that Crash Bandicoot fights with. The green beaker is just like a banana peel, but the red one is actually worse. It's the upgraded version, and the red one slows you down afterwards as well. So here's sort of how you win, how you get really good time on a track in this game is you're constantly drift boosting, just constantly, even on straightaways, which in this game is it's a big skill. It's not as straightforward as Mario Kart, and gives you a lot more opportunities. And the other is getting this momentum that as you get speed, it also gives you the ability to go off jumps longer distances. And you go off those jumps longer distances, you have more speed to go off the next jump at a longer distance, and it just builds on each other as you go from one jump to the next, to one turn to the jump. And that's where it actually feels like really awesome when you're just flying. This is one of my favorite ones right here. Hit this. Oh! Sure, make a fool out of myself. That's alright. You're gonna do it again? That's okay. This isn't me playing at my optimal, but alright. So, get this a drift thing there, get airtime, get a drift, and more airtime. Okay, I didn't air enough to get it right there, so that's a mistake, but that's the idea. Some levels a lot better than others. This level is actually probably the closest to Rainbow Road in the whole game. It's one of the best tracks that they have, which is why I'm playing it. Just no reason not to. It exhibits every skill. It's the only thing it doesn't really have is a really good shortcut. The bomb, by the way, has a manual detonation. Let's see, what can I secure here? Yeah! First place still. Crazy. So I want to look at some of the other game modes here, too. This is one of those games where if you really like the game, like you're someone like me where you love the game, you want to play more of it, and they give you so many game modes to play with. Now, you're probably not most of the time going to play them. I'm going to show you another really good one. Is battle mode. Like I said, this came out with Mario Kart, and specifically Mario Kart 64 was out. And you can tell. I mean, this level specifically that I'm pulling up is very similar to one of the levels in Mario Kart. I don't think there's any shame in just building on the skills of the game design of people that have been successful before you. They're not trying to just completely rip them off. They're building on what they've seen. And this is a big deal to me because the battle mode specifically, because Mario Kart 64 battle was top notch, and this one is top notch. However, I really felt like Mario really just peaked when it comes to their battle mode. Their battle mode was good in the 64 version, but what afterwards, like starting with the GameCube one, it wasn't as good, and then the next one just wasn't any better. And yeah, I'm sorry to say it just, I don't know, Mario Kart's battling just didn't keep with the times. And nowadays, yeah, so this is what I consider to be one of the best battle modes that are available in kart games right now. And this is an old game. It's just a remake. There's nothing that says that just because a game is new is that it's any better. I like to think, though, that we are, as game makers, you know, learning from things, but I don't see it with the battle modes in modern games. Like, this game, Mario Kart 64, and even Twisted Metal had amazing battle modes, and it's like we forgot what we wanted to do with that. It's kind of crazy. Now I am kind of sucking at this battle mode, so forgive me for that. I'm not taking it too seriously, but we just have good weapons here, and I think one of the things that makes bad battle modes is when you're too fast. No, there's that, and also when you just can't see what you need to see. So this doesn't have any fancy level design or anything. It's well segmented so that you can get away from people, so that you can fight people without having too much interference. That's really all you kind of need. Just be interesting, be able to navigate around the map. That's in Mario Kart 8. That happens a lot where, like, I have a map and I can't figure out where I am, let alone where other people are. There's really nothing more or less to that than the fact that I'm going too fast and the map is too complicated. I need better game design than that if I'm going to enjoy a battle mode. I have no desire to play Mario Kart battle mode as a result. And that's kind of why I wanted to do this, is so that we can take a reflective look at, like, why are we enjoying what we're enjoying? Are we being honest with ourselves, and are game developers really pushing themselves? So even just playing this game, I have a hard time focusing because it is fun, and I just want to play the game. There are other game modes, though. Alright. Race. Cups is good. Battles, I showed you. Time trials, common. Ring Rally is a lot like time trials. So is Relic Race, but Relic Race is where you also can you pick up these boxes that are placed around the track. Let's do a Relic Race. This is good. So in a Relic Race, we've got these boxes, and each one of them has a number on it, and that number just stops the clock for a certain number of seconds. Simple concept. What makes it fun is that it forces you to go to parts of the track that you wouldn't normally go. Okay, I guess I'm just going to get hit by that. So, yeah, but the boxes and the Relic Race is fun because it's not easy to get them, really. You have to go places that you have to sacrifice time that you're hoping to get back by getting that box. In fact, that's going to be one of my upcoming goals, is to try to perfect all the Relic Races, get a platinum medal on them all. I remember working hard to do that until I got every single one with a platinum relic when I was a kid. It took me a while. I was really satisfied when I finally got it. Alright, the last mode that I want to share is the adventure mode, which is something that really Mario doesn't have at all. I thought it was a really clever thing, though. I've seen other games do this, so they're not like the only ones or anything, but the idea here is that you've got this open world that you move from track to track. And what's clever about it is that if you want to just practice some skill, this open world gives you exactly that option. Just, you're here to not really do anything other than just, it's like a menu. It's an in-game menu. You know, you're just selecting a track. Like, I could go to this track or I could go to that track. get close to them, you can see which ones they are. But you also have to like do things in a certain order, and things only unlock when you hit the right stuff. Let's see, Skull Rock and Crash Cove. No, not a big fan of Crash Cove, but this is where you get challenged to do CTR challenges versus relic challenges. Let's see, which one's this? CTR being similar to the regular races, but where you have to also collect a couple things in order to win the trophy, in order to move on. Alright. Ripperoo's Challenge. So there's, I can't remember, 4 or 5 worlds. I think there's 4 main worlds, and then there's I think the 5th one is the main bad guy. Should be called Oxide, I believe. And he's got it's just like the alien that's going to destroy the world unless we beat him at a kart race. I don't know why he couldn't. I feel like beating him at a kart race would actually be his incentive to to actually blow up the world. Like, let me win or else I'll blow up the world makes more sense to me. Okay, so hold on, I should make sure not to beat this guy because I want to show you what he's doing. Come on, Ripperoo. I like playing as Ripperoo, actually. He's great. He's in a straitjacket. So you play against these boss battles, and they're always just constantly... First of all, they kind of cheat. And that's the point, is to give you something, an unfair challenge. So they go too fast, they have a speed advantage, they also get to just constantly poop out things at you. This one's the easiest one because the red box is completely avoidable simply by jumping, but they're not immune to things, as I'm showing there. Like, I was able to hit him with a missile. So all you have to do is beat them at the race, but I mean, that's just... Even though these can be frustrating sometimes when you're just not able to get ahead of them because of their speed advantage, you have to hit them. You have to either hit them with something or else you have to use a lot of boosts. And honestly, just though using a lot of boosts is a perfectly good way to win. It's nothing more or less than holding players to the expectation that you need to do something more than just steer a little. You need to find a shortcut, or you need to learn to drift, or you need to make sure you're jumping at the top of those jumps. So not sure if it's technically impossible to win without getting some kind of boost, but definitely the way I've always relied on doing those, because they don't feel really doable otherwise. He's always going to put crap in your path that's the normal best path. So that's just another fun thing that they add. It's not what makes it a great game, but everything just comes together to feel like they just really cared a lot about this product, and it really works for me. Again, you have to get the feel down. You have to break away from the expectation that it would feel like Mario Kart. The biggest problem with that is the drifting. The drifting feels so different. I see this all the time where people start picking it up and they start to drift, and it goes terrible for them. So they're trying to do it like Mario Kart. Honestly, I don't think I see people have as much of a problem if they're not Mario Kart players. So if you're going to play this game, get that out of your head. It's not. I could do a whole thing on exactly how to do it right. You have to hit it right when that black smoke appears. But that's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is just the steering. You have to oversteer sometimes and understeer other times. You have to start by knowing that you're usually going to want to do this. Like once you've mastered it, what you really want to do it as much as possible So you'll do it like even if you're on a straightaway. So like right here, I can start drifting left, but then hold to the right in order to just use it here in this hallway. So it's difficult because you want to just, like, okay, I have to hold left and then I have to hold right, but you don't actually want to go left. So what you need to do is not actually hold left until you're landing. It's hard to explain, but once you got it down, you'll see what I mean. Because if you do, then you'll go too far to the left, and then holding right isn't going to mean much. Because otherwise, you'll be like, all right, I'm going to hold to the left, and then now I'm like going too far close to the wall. It makes sense in concept, but it's frustrating until you get the feel of it. You have to like, okay, I'm going to drift left, and you don't do it as soon as you hit the jump button. You do it right when you land. Otherwise, you go too far to the left. And more than that is you have to understand that even though you're trying to go straight and you are going to go straight, but before you go to the straight, you're going to go slightly to the left or right, whatever direction you're going. And then it's because it's of that nature, it's hard to get it to go exactly where you want to go. So like you'll be doing a relic challenge and you'll be missing boxes all over. There's another skill you have to implement on top of that one, which is that you will have to stop drifting at the right moment once your cart is going in the right direction. You have to say like, okay, now I'm steering towards the box, so I need to stop turning so that I don't miss the box. And that's also its own skill, which is great. And like once you're actually practicing those skills, once you understand what is happening and you can control it, even if you're not perfect at it, it feels good to be working on that and to be making progress. Okay, well, I don't know if everyone might want me to go through more videos about how to do that, or any of the other skills, like getting the jumps right. I certainly could. I'm thinking that I'll probably want to do a video where I go and get all the platinum relics. If anyone is interested in exploring any of these, let me know. And thanks for watching Crash Team Racing.